sit on a wall. But be careful what you wish for. Now we're in northeastern Pennsylvania. I assume that this is Eagles territory. Is that right? Okay. Some dissension here. We've got a lot of Eagles fans, but not 100% Eagles fans here. But congratulations, by the way, on last year. But this is what a buddy of mine sent me. He said, I'm a Cincinnati Bengals player. Here's how you win Super Bowls. And that cut a little deep. For the football fans out there will know that was not a cool thing for that guy to say. But this is what we're dealing with, my friends. We're dealing with a new administration, a new day, and a president who is fixing what was broken during the last administration. I think we're all proud of that and proud to be here to celebrate it. And here's what I am most proud of. What I am most proud of over the last 6 months, the border is important, and it's great, and it's incredible that we were able to go from the worst open border to a closed border in just a couple of weeks under President Trump's leadership. But you know what I'm really excited about? I'm really excited about the fact that for the first time in a very long time, workers' wages are rising faster than inflation. You're able to buy more, you're able to do more, and we're just getting started. For decades in this country, the story was that blue-collar workers in particular, they might get a little pay raise or they might not get any pay raise at all, but it was never enough to keep pace with inflation. No matter how hard you worked, no matter how hard you came to work every single day, no matter how many overtime hours, for example, you put in, you were falling behind. Way too many good Pennsylvania families were falling behind. And under just 6 months of the president's leadership, we've got inflation is coming under control, and blue-collar wages are rising faster than they have risen in 60 years. That is a testament to great presidential leadership and the great American people. And we're just getting started, my friends. The passage of the big, beautiful bill. Now, of course, the mainstream media, the corporate press doesn't like what we accomplished. It doesn't like what we did. But let me just talk a little bit about what this bill, about what this legislation means for you and your family. And there are a few different things, a few different ways in which I think this will be transformational for the American people. You heard Kelly talk about this a little bit. How many, Don, of your 36 employees are putting in a lot of overtime every single week? I bet a lot of them are. You told me you got projects coming in so fast they're struggling to get people in to do all the jobs that are necessary. Well, now, thanks to President Trump's leadership, if you work overtime, the federal government is not going to take a dime of that overtime. You earn that money, you ought to keep it in your pocket. And while we're on that topic, why is it? You know, the big, beautiful bill was about taxes, it was about spending, it was about investing in America's future. But one of the most important things the president's doing and working on, it doesn't get nearly the headlines, is asking, why is it that we force every single young person to get a big chunk of debt at a 4-year college or university? Why don't we give our young people more options? Because if we did, a lot of them would come and work at Don's machine shop. And that would be good for them, and it'd be good for American workers. You know, we think it's fine. If you want to go to college, go to college. There's a lot of opportunity out there. But if you want to work with your hands, if you want to build something, if you want to build a house, build a bridge, make one of these incredible orders that comes into this small business right here in northeastern Pennsylvania, your government should not be forcing you to do what elites in Washington want you to do. You ought to be able to chart your own course and your own career path, and the Trump administration is going to fight for that. But, you know, here are just some of the other things that we're doing with this one big, beautiful bill. You know that we are creating the biggest tax breaks maybe in American history for investing and building in the United States of America. So if you're a small business, if you're a medium-sized business, if you want to invest in American workers, we are going to make it so you pay less taxes. Invest in Americans and your government ought to reward you. Isn't that common sense? But the crazy thing is, for years, our government has done the exact opposite. We have rewarded people who shipped American jobs overseas and penalized the great small businesses who invested right here in America, right here at home. And the President Trump's leadership, we're flipping that on its head. If you're building here, if you're making here, if you're working in the United States of America, we just gave you a big, fat tax break. But if you're going to ship American jobs overseas, thanks to Donald Trump, you're going to pay a big, fat tariff. It's time to invest in our own country and our own people once again, and we're doing it. And here's the crazy thing. While we worked so hard, without a single Democrat in Congress supported this legislation, we worked so hard to get this legislation passed, to cut your taxes, to prevent big tax increases, to make it easier to save and invest right here in this great country that all of us love. Would you believe that the Democrats, they are attacking us every single day? And you know what their big line of attack is? Their big line of attack is that Donald Trump dares to put tariffs on foreign countries who try to bring their crap into the United States of America. And that's interesting to me, because Democrats seem to like everything that increases taxes. If you've got a health care problem, they'll say, well, just raise taxes, right? Health care costs in this country, we're working on it. They're way too expensive. Democrats will say, well, just raise taxes. We got not enough people working. Democrats will say, just raise taxes. That's their solution to every single problem. But you know the one group of people in the entire world that they don't seem interested in penalizing? It's foreign countries that take advantage of this country, and that's got to stop. Part of the big, beautiful agenda is saying that if you're going to build something in the United States of America, we're going to reward you and we're going to fight for you. But if you want to build something overseas, you're going to pay a big, fat tariff before you bring it back into the United States of America, and that's exactly how it should be. For the first time, really in my lifetime, I'm 40 years old, I turned 40. Before, and I was there, of course, with Usha and with our 3 kids. And my little 3-year-old daughter, she brought me this dandelion. And she you know, it was one of these dandelions where, you know, her little 3-year-old lungs just couldn't blow these seeds all over this beautiful Badlands hills. And I'm looking out there and I see the American flag and I see these beautiful hills, and I help her out, and we see these dandelions floating over this beautiful American scenery. And I think to myself, my God, what a beautiful country we have. And how lucky it is that our forefathers gave us this land to carve out a new nation, and I think a new civilization. And what I realize is, you know, in all of our jobs, you know, whether you're working at Don's Machining or whether you're the Vice President of the United States, we're worried about the day-to-day. We're worried about the orders that come in. We're worried about, you know, clients that we've got to serve. We're worried about, you know, getting the big, beautiful bill passed and counting votes. That's what I was doing a lot in the last few weeks. But I realized that it's all in the service of something. It's all in the service of giving our kids the incredible opportunities that we've had. It's in the service of watching a child's face light up when she sees America's beauty. And I saw it on her face and in her eyes for the first time, realizing what a beautiful landscape this was. It's about the cookouts. It's about seeing our kids grow up and learn something that they have a passion for. It's about believing that the next generation is going to have a better life than we had because we worked our tails off to give it to them. That's the American dream, my friends. That's what it's all about. And when I think about what this administration has accomplished over the last 6 months, but more importantly, when I think about what all of us as one big American family have accomplished over the last 249 years, all I can think about is it's time to keep building, it's time to keep working, and it's time to make sure that these beautiful faces, these beautiful kids that I see in this audience, that they're going to have a better life than we had. That is the promise of America, and we will never stop fighting to give it to the next generation. God bless you all, and thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Hello, Detroit.